SMQBs. This is episode 280. We got a full house tonight. What's going on, guys? How's everyone?
What's up, Bison?
How you doing, Bison?
House.
Let's go.
Everybody's
The rare
here?
full house.
Yeah, ready to roll. Milk, who are you bringing to the bar?
I'm glad you came to me first. You know, guys, I've told you this many times. My ability to see things when others can't is something I take very seriously. And you may recall last week,
Milk Stradamus.
I brought up a certain Premier League team. Of course, I'm talking about Hull City.
Good one.
Who shocked the world Saturday and beat Manchester United 2-0. I was mocked.
2-0.
House
2-0.
made fun of Hull City.
Or 2-0.
I know it's one game, but I'm taking this whole team to the bar. We're getting some Newcastles. Hull City is my team. I'm going over from Chelsea. Give me Hull City.
Milk, could you share with us who scored for Hull City? Who are the two players that scored?
I don't get into complicated questions.
Okay, they're your team. I was just checking.
But you know,
Okay.
I Sergey is their manager. I know all about him.
Sergey.
Yeah, I know you know all about that.
Okay. All right. Enough of that. House, who are you bringing to the bar?
Well, this will also be of great interest to Milk and perhaps Pope. I don't know, but I am bringing two men to the bar. One is the name of Bill Belichick, and the other is named Bobby Petrino. Those
Offensive
two men,
coordinator.
yeah, those two men hold in their hands the fate of 12 men who together this upcoming Saturday will make an investment into their future. Now, this first game, I'm so excited the NCAA football season is getting underway. We have gathered together for fantasy football, and it kicks off with a beautiful game in Dublin, Ireland, and we have not been the best handicappers.
That's one way of putting it.
So I am saying that it is plus 7.5 for UNC. Last year, TCU pasted them in the opener 48-14. Bill was still turned around to the cheerleading squad. So this year he's going to face the field with a real offensive coordinator in Bobby Petrino. And Milk, right now, where I am on this Monday, right now I am plus 7.5 in the Tar Heels.
You think this year he won't be interrupted at halftime to see if he wanted to go shopping?
If we lose,
it's a disaster.
If we lose this time, we're down five figures now.
He's got a real quarterback.
So
this could happen.
Anyway, we have to win,
guys.
this.
We're going to go to the bar. Me, Bobby, and Billy. We're going to try to leave the girl on the side, and we're going to have a drink. And
well, you're going to have to have a Guinness.
Yeah, if Yoko Ono doesn't bother us, then we should be fine.
TCU's quarterback is a transfer from Harvard. This is a complicated one.
Okay.
Boy. All right, Pope, who are you bringing?
This was the conclusion of LIV Golf 1.0 as we know it. So I'm bringing John Rahm to the bar, their main star who continues just to win every year, and find out what the hell he's going to do, because it would be great to see him back on the PGA Tour. It would be great to see some of the other guys back. But John Rahm, I think he's the key to getting the LIV guys to come back. So I'm going to take John and try to convince him to come back.
Right. Rooster, who you got?
I was thinking about taking my pal Milk to the bar because I read today that 100 college basketball coaches were polled and 55% of them voted for Milk's Gators as the best team in basketball next season. So I want to congratulate Milk and see if he could possibly get through a few games without bitching about his coaches and hating on his team and everything.
If we lose the first couple games, that will be tough to do. They're going to be good, though. I like it.
All right. Well, listen, I was asked to bring someone to the bar, and so I'm going to oblige and do it. I will be bringing Kyle Kirkwood, a Florida native, right, to the bar. Kyle Kirkwood.
They have no idea who this is, by the way.
Does anybody know who Kyle Kirkwood is?
Does he play Little League? Do I care?
Boy. Oh, boy. No, Kyle Kirkwood is the winner of the inaugural and with any luck only Freedom 250 IndyCar race.
God.
Oh,
Round
who cares?
over the
Who cares?
And good for Kyle Kirkwood to win the inaugural and hopefully only Freedom 250.
What a wonderful race. So that was awesome.
Oh my God.
And a guy from Florida to win it, even better.
Yeah. It looked like the gopher from I don't know, from what's the Bill Murray movie?
Caddyshack.
The green flag to get the thing started. That's about
Oh my God.
it. So whatever. Okay, let's talk a little bit about our sponsors, and we'll leave that there.
Well, yes, we want to thank our sponsors, Supio, Injury Board, Assembly, and Digital Law Marketing for allowing us to produce this show. And you will be hearing more about all of them later in the show. We couldn't do it without them. You can also check out more about them on our website at SMQBs.
All right, Rooster, let's stick with you in continuing our preview of some of the teams or coverage of some of the MLB wild card hopefuls, and we want to start with the Yankees tonight.
Oh, I gotta go. I gotta take off. Hold on, I'm out here, guys.
By the time you get back, you'll be only up 2 games probably.
No.
All right.
Yeah, people talking about
Maybe
the
the
wild
Rays are just
wild card.
The Rays are a hopeful as well.
Yeah. He wants the division.
Yeah. You know, I tell you, it's interesting. I think the Yankees have become what I hoped they would be over these last several years, but out of necessity, not out of design, and that is younger. This is their starting lineup the last game. Trent Grisham leading off in center field. This new kid Rosario at second base. Heliot Ramos left field. Ben Rice DH. George Lombardi shortstop. Spencer Jones just called up this year right field. Caballero at third base. And Ali Sanchez at catcher. Ninth hitter was Goldschmidt at first base. I'll bet most of you guys have heard of 3 of these players, maybe 4. And, you know, this is what I've been saying all along we need to do. The GM has fought this. Fortunately, they have a really good farm team. But, you know, like Giancarlo Stanton is out for the year, I think. You know, totally predictable. And yet the team was built around Judge and Stanton. The guy injured his calf and in rehab injured the other calf, and now he's out. I just don't think his body can take it anymore. Max Fried has an elbow injury. Rodón is finally back in the starting rotation, and Gerrit Cole is finally back. I think they're getting Bellinger back soon, and it sounds like Aaron Judge is starting to hit balls off of a tee, and Clark Schmidt is starting to get ready to come back as either a starter or a relief pitcher. So as much of a disaster as the middle part of the season was for a little while, where they fell like 6, 7, 8 games behind the Rays, it looks like things are starting to come together. And with some of these healthy players getting back on the roster, if we could have a healthy Rodón, Gerrit Cole, Schlittler, and maybe closer to the end of the season, Max Fried, that's a hell of a starting rotation. And these young guys are starting to hit. Bellinger will be a great addition. I've always thought that Spencer Jones was going to be a slugger in the MLB, and they waited too late to bring him up, but he's finally up and he's hitting. So I don't know. The Yankees could be dangerous come playoff time.
Rooster, with the Stanton injury news, it probably makes the trade for Garcia a little more important because at one point that trade went through from the Nats, and it was like, well, where are they going to put him? Because when Stanton comes back, he's got to be. But at the same time, Garcia's not exactly performed very well. What's the situation? I mean, his OPS when he was with Washington was 873, and it's 739 with the Yanks. So
yeah. He's just not going to get a lot of playing time right now, the way he's been playing. And when Bellinger comes back, and you're going to have Aaron Judge when he comes back, he's not going to be able to play outfield right away because his injury was to his ribs. So throwing bombs from right field is not good for him. I just don't see a lot of room for Garcia right now. We'll see. People have been up and down all year. Who knows?
I think in years past, it feels like when you've been on this pod, you talked about maybe timely hitting, maybe not always swinging for the fences, but it always seemed like the question mark that hung over the Yankees was pitching. And now I feel like it actually could be one of your strengths. If Cole comes back healthy, you definitely have a 1-2 and maybe 1-2-3 pitcher for the playoffs. That is a big difference maker.
Yeah. Well, Cole's back, and his ERA is something like 3.11 for the year. So he's gradually getting better each game. Rodón pitched last night or the night before and pitched a solid game. And, Schlittler has been pitching lights out. He hasn't been getting a lot of run support lately. So he's like 1-3 in his last 4 starts, but he's pitched well in every one of them. We'll see. Max Fried is the one who worries me. I think he's got arm problems.
How impressive you've been with Spencer Jones? I mean, they're talking about this guy he's going nuts the last 2 weeks. He concerns me. I think one of the hitting issues though is now we're going into September, which is, I mean, essentially it's going to be like a 30-day playoff almost. This is going to be very tight. You got a lot of young hitters. Can they keep that going, especially when the pressure starts to build over the next few weeks?
Yeah.
But I mean, those guys, your young guys are. I mean, what are you 6-1 in your last 7 games? I think.
Yep.
They're on a nice little tear.
And don't forget,
can they keep that up
Jason,
when the pressure starts?
Yeah, there's also Jason Dominguez, who they brought up a couple years before Spencer Jones, even though I thought Jones was better. He's must be hurt right now. He hasn't been playing much, but he's had a pretty good year too. So they're stacked with good young hitters right now. But you're right. We'll see how they play under pressure.
Well.
Rooster,
Lombard's been great.
Yeah.
When you look at the stats, so when you go to the MLB.com and pull up statistics for a team, and then you sort by something in particular, it only shows the qualified players. Like, so right. So the guys who have enough,
At-bats.
enough at bats or enough for pitching, enough appearances. When you short the Yankees, they've got 2 guys. There's only 2 pitchers on the team who qualify because they've got enough outings out there. It's Schlittler and Ryan Weathers.
Weathers is hurt now too. He's on the IL.
That's remarkable. I mean,
but here's the other thing. If you peel back the onion on the Yankees, there's a couple of other really interesting stats. One of which is that they're not that good against good teams. I mean, over 500 teams, they're 21-25. That does not portend well for the playoffs. In addition, they haven't had the kind of advantage they usually have at Yankee Stadium. I think they're 15 games over 500 on the road and only 5 games over 500 at home. So, all these things, do they matter once you reach the playoffs? I don't know. But, for me right now, if I'm in what's crazy is that the entire American League looks like it's going to come down to this one division in the playoffs.
Yeah, the Red Sox have pulled way off.
Yeah, I mean, but the Red Sox are still going to be there. The Rays are still going to be there. The Yankees are going to be there, and it may come down that one of the other teams between the O's and the Blue Jays somehow pull that off. So, which team scares me the most in that division? I guess maybe a healthy Yankees, but I don't. The Red Sox still, I know they've cooled off a little bit, but they are playing so well.
Well, they're 7-3 for their last 10, so they've heated back up.
The other thing that bothers me about the Yankees, House, you're exactly right about not playing well against the better teams. But even when they take a series from a good team, like I remember recently, they took a series from maybe the Dodgers, and then they played the Pirates, and I'm like, oh, this is good. Just a couple easy wins here, and they let up on the Pirates and lost the first game. So you can't lose to teams like the Pirates when you're in a playoff race. I think that's on the manager. I just don't like Boone. I'd get rid of him.
The Yankees
You never told us that before.
The Yankees have the largest run differential in the American League.
Wow.
Plus 100. Red Sox are plus 99, so they're right there. But the Rays are only plus 44. So that's
pitching.
That's interesting.
Sounds like they're blowing out when they win.
Yeah. But they've made some, if you notice, Jazz Chisholm isn't in the lineup right now. Guy's having a horrific year. And sometimes you just need to cut bait. And I think they finally may do that with him.
So, Rooster, big picture, it looks like, assuming that you don't catch the Rays, that it's going to be, would it be the Yankees and the Red Sox in a 3-game playoff at Yankee Stadium? Is that the way the wild card would work?
I'm not sure. Milt, do you know?
Yeah, that's why I want to win the division because I have
Because
I
it's
have no interest in playing the Red Sox.
number 1 wild
In the
card
wild
versus
card.
number 2 wild card, and then the
Yeah.
lowest division winner versus the number 3 wild
No,
card.
you're
So
gonna have
right
to
now,
play the Red Sox.
Yeah, I mean you're slotted unless you win the East to play the Red Sox. And what a fun series that would be. The Red Sox
We own the Red Sox
at Yankee Stadium, right? All 3
Mark
games.
it down, brah.
How does it work now? Do you get all 3 games at home? Like you don't have to go to the second place?
I think that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Best 2 out of 3 at home.
I'm
the Red Sox just
absolutely frightened of them.
Swept two, Bison?
The Red Sox just took 4. Didn't they just sweep the Yankees in the last series? They had 4.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They can't handle the pressure in the playoffs against us at Yankee Stadium.
Maybe we'll have somebody talking
They're
about that
chokers.
next week.
They're chokers.
Well, yeah, I think.
right.
Look, we'll get into the Rays, but on another show. But I mean, it's a collapse right now. I don't think we're going to win the division.
Anything else on the Yankees?
The Rays are the best team nobody knows anything about.
Yeah, but that's
I'll
every
tell you
year.
all about it
Yeah, that's nothing
next
new.
week. All right. All right.
Okay, brah.
Rooster, who's the best team that nobody knows anything about
The
is
Brewers.
the Brewers.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Brewers. All right. Anything else on the Yankees? All right. Let's hey Pope, let's do a little appreciation for one Russell Westbrook, huh?
Yeah, he just retired, and I hated.
Sorry, who is that?
Sorry,
It's
it's
basketball
NBA.
players.
It's
He's
NBA
listening.
milk. You can tune
Center
out.
back for whole city.
Yeah.
He had a lot of
Yeah,
sweaters.
does he-
He had a lot of sweaters like Pope's background.
Yes, Argyle.
Argyle sweaters. Love it.
I mean, he broke the Mavericks back more than a few times. He was a great player, and his real call, to the hall is going to be the fact he was Mr. Triple Double. He averaged a triple double for his career. I mean, that's insane.
Wow.
He retires with 209 triple doubles. He averaged triple doubles 4 times during each for different regular seasons. He won the MVP in 2017. 14th in scoring all time with 27,176 points. 5th in assists with 10,351. But, the thing about Russ is he doesn't have one of these, doesn't have a ring. Just
Never
like
got one with any of those
never got
teams.
one. Nope. Just like Barkley and Malone, no ring.
Wow.
And it's going to haunt him. And, he's got himself to blame ish, right? Because he was not the greatest playoff performer. He was a turnover machine, especially later in his career. And one thing that was going to be a little stigma, maybe not an asterisk, but a little stigma with Russ is he was accused of padding the stats. He may be Mr. Triple-Double, but he got a bunch of rebounds for Oklahoma City when they basically just kind of cleared it out to give him a team, a rebound that would have been a team rebound, but he grabbed it. So, that's just one thing in looking back at his career that people are going to look at is it possible that he has diluted the meaning of a triple-double by the way he was aggressive in trying to, get triple-doubles and pad his stats, but yet he doesn't have a ring. It is pretty scary to think he played with Durant and Harden in Oklahoma City, and they weren't able to keep it together long enough for them all to get a ring.
He spent a year in Washington,
Right.
and single-handedly got the Wizards into the playoffs that year. Really single-handedly. And I remember hearing him talk about the triple-double stuff, and I thought it was very interesting. He said, it shows me how active I was in a game. Was I, all over? Was I involved in the plays? And I thought that was pretty interesting, because they kind of asked him that question about, well, the triple doubles, is it important? Does it matter? And he kind of had that. He was like, well, to me, it matters because it shows how active I was during the game.
Bison and I are very, very partial to Allen Iverson, and probably both of us would debate anybody that in terms of the little man, Iverson goes down as one of the, if not the best little man of all time. I think Russ has got a pretty good argument on it, just statistically, and in the longevity of his career. Iverson doesn't have a ring either. Russ he dominated for a lot of years. He was, I mean, how many scoring titles did he have, Pope? Like, I feel like he had several scoring titles. And there was that one year where I don't know whether it was like 40 points consecutively, but he went on this run one of these years where he had like a gazillion games in a row of at least like 30 or 40 points. He was unstoppable.
Well, I mean, in 2017, he averaged 31 points, 10.7 rebounds, and 10.4 assists.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's crazy numbers.
But he had great shooters around him on those teams, and was back then was passing the ball, so it would open up the lanes for him. The guy could never shoot from downtown. That was his downfall.
Never could hit a big three.
Shooter. Yeah, terrible shooter.
All right. Well, still, it's a remarkable.
I mean, he's a top 10 point guard.
Yeah,
all time.
That's true.
Career.
I think there's one other guy we should appreciate who just retired, Nick Chubb. just retired from the NFL today after 8 short seasons because of terrible knee injuries. But he was a hell of a player, man. Tough running back. Made the Pro Bowl 4 times out of his 8 years playing on gimpy knees.
And was the captain of Bison's Rub My Chubby fantasy football team.
Yes.
Right. So, no, that guy, he was highly regarded by his teammates. I mean, he was a tough-nosed player. But for those injuries, which, obviously matter, he was a pretty dominant back when he was healthy.
In fact, he played 8 years in the NFL after that injury at Georgia.
Georgia
was shocking.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's had 3 major knee injuries that we know of. He's also a great guy from what everyone on his teams say about him.
Yeah.
I know he's not the first. It's just a bummer to hear a guy that talented have to hang it up at 31 years old. That's just wild.
But but for a running back, that's probably over the average career of a running back.
Yeah.
They don't last long.
It makes you admire a guy like Adrian Peterson, who, was still, thumping guys well after in his career.
And
Derrick Henry.
Children.
All right. House Milk, I want you guys to talk us through this story a little bit. We touched on NCAA football starting back, but tell me what's happening with these guys who were drafted, who went and signed pro contracts and got released and are going back. What the fuck is going on?
Ole Miss had a very, very talented tight end that really was a star for them last year, Daquan Wright. And the guy gets drafted.
He had 1,000 yards receiving as a tight end.
Actually, I don't think he was drafted. I think he was signed with the Eagles as a free agent. Didn't really catch on at camp. So he goes over to the Browns and realizes he's not going to make a team. And so he hears that actually, despite the fact that he's had a full college career, if he wants, based on where things are right now in the crazy wild, wild west of what is, I mean, let's just call it what it is. It's the AAA to the NFL. It's not an amateur sport. It's not anything that's like, well, these cute stories of the college especially in the Big Four conferences. It's just the forerunner to the NFL, and he's got an opportunity to go back. And I think it played out in the courts where a Louisiana judge, which I'll talk about in a second too, about how the courts roll and all this, says it's fine. Green light. You haven't forfeited anything. On the NCAA rules, you're fine. And if I'm right, Daquan Wright is going to be playing next year for LSU. He played a couple of pro games in the preseason, and he will be playing for LSU next year.
But he's only one of 16 football players who are eligible for that because they were part of this lawsuit. It's not wide open.
For now.
Well, yeah. For now.
And
also, I think Lane Kiffin had a little something to do with this too. Go ahead, Mil.
Stunned to find Lane Kiffin at the bottom of a fucking nightmare situation.
Yeah, he was contacting the Browns coach before this even went down.
Milk, what's your take
did you
on
hear
this?
what Munkin said? He was like, I now I know why Lane called me 2 weeks ago. He's like, I didn't call him back. I guess I should have.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
What's your take on this, Milk?
I mean, it's absurd. There's a guy on the Bucs that might do that. Although he might make the team. So I don't know what he's not going back to college. Maybe he should. Maybe he'll make more money.
Better offer.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe
He
he'll
might
get
have a
$5
better
million
offer.
instead of a rookie salary and then just come back. Who knows?
I mean,
it's insane.
It's not
insane.
limited to football, guys, as you know. I mean, same thing for NCAA basketball. Seth Trimble, the Carolina 4-year guy who hit the big shot against Duke last year, played for the Hawks and in summer league has decided he wants to come back to college, and he's enrolled with Louisville.
Oh my God.
Assuming that they can do that. It's fucking insane.
It's all.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
I don't like it at all.
It's all very complicated. I acknowledge that. I mean, the NCAA teams for the longest time exploited these kids for the profit of the schools. They weren't seriously looking to give these kids an education. They wanted to, line their purses with ticket revenue, with jerseys, all this stuff. And so did the kids deserve something for name, image, and likeness? I think so. I'm in favor of that. But it has run amok. So they're just now free agents for almost anything. There's barely anything to rein it in. And so like you guys point out, these guys now have a choice between what's the best offer. Can I make $4 million in NIL to go play quarterback at University of Miami, Darian Mensah, or can I go play in the NFL? And they're just going to take the highest dollar available to them.
What's a better situation for college sports? The way it was back when Pope's alma mater was having a roll under the table, and then all the teams sort of followed, and you knew these guys were getting paid, but it was, you didn't really know. You just guessed it. Or now where it's just out in the open and this shit's happening. This to me, this is as much of a black mark on college sports as what was happening in the 80s and maybe early 90s when guys were taking, duffel bags of cash and getting cars and stuff.
I agree with you.
It's not going to stop.
It's not going to stop. And what's a little worrisome to me is the role of the law and courts in all of this. We saw this play out last year with the Texas Tech quarterback who found,
Sorsby.
Yeah. Who found an alum to give him the green light to play again at Texas Tech. And then eventually the shame of all that and the schools threatening the Big 12 said, and so there was a back down. But what's going to happen is these kids or these schools are going to go venue shopping for a favorable judge that will give them the ruling that they want, that will give them the eligibility that they need, that will end up with a player on the playing field. And it just shouldn't happen that way. At some point, the wild, wild west has to stop. Now, look, we talked a few pods ago about legislation that's pending in Congress. I don't like that either. That's not a solution either. That cuts the kids' legs off and really limits their ability and health and all kinds of other things. So I don't know what the solution is. The legislation that's being conjured up isn't the solution, but the wild, wild west isn't it either.
Do you know how much Miami made just in their playoff run last year?
I would say
the school
revenue
made.
to the school,
revenue to the school
through the ACC or some other.
No, just
through
the playoff run.
So I think Tulane, just from being just in that one game alone, that one game in the beginning, I think made $8 million for the school. So if Miami then went all the way to the end, you multiply that, I'd say somewhere around 40 to 50 million.
Less than that. 20. They made 20.
Okay,
Tulane may have made like 4, but my point is they paid.
Right. The payroll they had was a good investment.
They paid, what's his name? Who was the quarterback? I'm blanking.
The guy who's on drugs? Carson
Beck.
Yeah,
he's not really on drugs. His just eyes look like it. Sorry,
the
Mr.
Arizona Cardinals.
Gollum.
They paid him $4 million. And he absolutely got them into the national championship game. So it's like, yeah, we're going to keep paying people
Sure.
$4-5 million a year. If it's going to make us that much money,
well,
it's a business.
Now, I don't know the answer to this, and maybe y'all don't either, but Daquan Wright was not drafted. Does that make a difference? If he had been drafted by the NFL, would it have made a difference?
I think once you suit up and you're
Yeah, I don't
collecting a
think so.
check in the NFL, that's the decider.
Once you become an NFL player, that should be it.
Is he making money right now? That's what he didn't play. By the way, he hasn't played any.
I thought he did play it down
He
for
got cut
Cleveland.
by the
No.
Eagles, and the Browns picked him up. But I don't
No,
think
he has
he's
not
played.
played
I
a
thought
down
he
of
played because
football.
I thought I saw it
No.
say he's the first player to have played in a game in the NFL to return to college.
Well,
I'm almost positive he is not. He he wore a
said he
uniform
didn't
on
play.
Saturday, but he did not
Okay.
play at all.
What I'm
But
looking
even
at says
if
he didn't play.
even if you're not drafted and you sign, you're getting a paycheck,
Right.
right? I
He got
even
paid.
camp, you're getting paid by an NFL.
He was practicing with the team.
Yeah.
Bottom
All
line is, you sign a professional contract, you shouldn't be able to go back to college,
No.
and that should be
it's
part of
period.
any arrangement.
period.
Just done.
All right. Well, we're going to
So-
obviously be talking about this kind of stuff for a long time. This is not going to get resolved anytime soon. Let's get into punches. Who's got a punch this week? I got two.
I have one. You can go with one of yours
I have
first.
one too. Go ahead.
My
Go
God,
ahead.
We're pugnacious this
A
week.
lot of punches.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Bison.
All right. Well, just the first one's sort of a small one, and it goes back to something we've been covering here on the WNBA. But I don't know if you saw this Enes Kanter at the.
Oh, that's one of my punches.
He's
go
a
for it.
douche.
well,
He's a
yeah.
douche.
Kanter was, at the Chicago. What is it? It's the Sky. Is that the team?
Yeah, the Chicago Sky.
And got into a kind of a verbal altercation with Natasha Cloud, who plays for the Sky. And Kanter, I think we talked about him a week or two ago here about some of his comments. And so there he is. He shows up wearing a T-shirt that says, "Woman, noun, adult, human, female." And he's sitting courtside, and he gets into a shouting match with Natasha Cloud. I don't know what was going on there, but he was there trying to provoke, and he provoked, and he got kicked out and thrown out of there.
He's a pathetic attention hound. He's an
Correct.
attention hound
Yeah.
because
We
his
shouldn't
career,
even be giving
his
him the
career,
attention.
his career crashed out and burned, and nobody likes Ennis the Penis anymore, and it drives him crazy. So he sees that the WNBA is kind of engulfed in a little bit of a debate about transgender athletes. Not much, just like one player, Sophie Cunningham, made a comment about it. No big deal. So he goes ahead and declares for the draft, for the WNBA draft. I mean, what a jackass.
Yeah.
He's just a jerk.
He's not
a
really
total
going to be drafted, right?
No, in fact, today they said the two players, him and Royce White, cannot be eligible.
They're not. Okay.
Yeah.
That's absurd.
All right. Anyway, that was one of them. The other one, we this thing with the Dodgers and their owner Mark Walter, who's now selling the Lakers. This story is really pretty remarkable. And I listened to a pod, the Bill Simmons pod today, had a really fascinating discussion about it. I mean, this guy Walter seems to have been. He had a life insurance company, and what he was doing, where he's supposed to take the premiums and invest them in very safe, secure, places, maybe put 3% here, 4% somewhere else, and not in your own companies. He was, and we don't have time to get into the whole scheme, but basically he was floating 40% of the premiums and using it. We want to know why the Dodgers payroll is so high. Well, that's what was happening for the last 2 years. He was floating 40% of the premiums from these policies, which is completely illegal from what I understand at this point. And there's an investigation into it. But if in fact that turns out to be how he was funding the payroll, these immediate contracts and getting these signing bonuses, I mean, we've always said the Dodgers bought 2 World Series championships, but now it may have been illegally bought.
Well, then
White's
we'll
going
have
to get
to
a
make
lot
some
of
changes on the Dodgers.
Did you
They should revert to the Yankees.
did you know that Shohei Ohtani has a clause in his contract that gives him freedom to leave the Dodgers if Walter is not the owner?
Whoa.
And
That's
so
interesting.
that's
interesting.
there is a real possibility that if the Dodgers go back into bankruptcy again because of these layered insurance policies that are really wild, there's a possibility you may not see, especially if we have a stoppage next year in baseball, you may not see Shohei as a Dodger in the future.
Interesting. Very interesting.
It's a lot complicated than the way I laid it out. But
I mean, we ought to have somebody on who knows what they're talking about. It's a fascinating story. I mean, there's a lot of layers to this. Financial, insurance. I mean, it's more than just the Dodgers or the Lakers.
Well, we're going to find out. That's what everybody's. Yeah, there's a lot of surmising. But anyway, those are my two punches: Cantor and Walter and his Dodgers payroll.
I've got to jump off, so let me just do a quick one. I was going to do Cantor, but the second one is a couple of shows ago, I was talking about basically how the WNBA should be thrilled with the quality of play. I mean, the quality of play is just outstanding right now, and it's good, solid basketball. You've got this woman, Asia Wilson, who is probably going to win a third consecutive MVP. And then you have a couple of sharpshooters who are just shooting the lights out and look great. Like I said, they look like Steph Curry out there. And so my point was they should be celebrating that instead of promoting these ridiculous professional wrestling matches we're seeing out there. And so my punch is to some of our, not necessarily listeners, but trolls who follow some of the YouTube shorts out there. In making my point, said Sophie Cunningham and what's-her-face on the same team, and people just lost their effing minds that I had a senior moment and couldn't remember Caitlin Clark's name. Okay, of course I remember Caitlin Clark's name. I was just getting a little exercise, so go F yourselves, you mother effing trolls.
Whoa!
See that?
That's the old adage that any publicity is good. Any good publicity is good publicity.
I think we just punched our audience.
Nice.
No, just the trolls who were out there on socials.
Rooster.
Did they say something about your age? Is that what it was?
No. Nothing about my age. Nothing about my age. Lots of women thought I looked amazing, but no, I'm just kidding.
I did hear that.
But there was one particular guy who just didn't think I was qualified to even talk about sports in general if I didn't know her name.
I think we'd love to have him on.
That's awesome. Awesome.
I want to pick up on something that Pope brought up at the top of the show. I want to deliver the final knockout punch and blow to LIV Golf. What it did to professional golf was disastrous. It really created a civil war. It tore apart the very, very top players. It tore apart friendships and some of the camaraderie that existed on the PGA Tour, all for total silliness. I was at a bar yesterday where on the TV they had that final tournament and the final celebration, I guess, of the winner from the final event yesterday, and then the year-long trophy, et cetera, et cetera.
Because they canceled Michigan.
I have to tell you, if there was 75 people in the crowd that were clapping for what was going on, I would have been surprised at that. This thing was an absolute joke. It really, really was. It was obviously a whole money grab that was sponsored by the Saudi PIF. And, I feel bad for the players that decided to stay loyal to the PGA and didn't do the money grab. I mean, I applaud them for not doing it, but they stayed loyal and didn't grab the $8 million paycheck to come in third for one event or whatever else. And these guys all get to come back without too much penalty. And I'm not saying they shouldn't be able to come back. I'm not saying they should be penalized. I'm just saying that LIV, you screwed this whole thing up. Yes, the PGA is absolutely imperfect. Let's fix it. Let's improve what some of the purses are and some competitive elements to it. But can we please never break up the PGA again? It's a very good product. And see you, Rooster.
See you guys. Hey, the one good thing about it was it made even Milk sort of like Rory.
Wow.
Unclear. All right. Any other punches? Anybody have a lasso? No, negative. How about buzzer beaters?
I got one.
I got one too. Go ahead, Pope.
All right. Yeah. So F1 is back this week. We had the Dutch Grand Prix, and I don't know if you guys saw it, but the hometown favorite, Mr. Verstappen, had some issues on the third lap.
I'm done with that bet. I'm like Bison, by the way. I'm done.
Real-
with it. I don't
really-
wanna do it anymore.
Really,
It's awful.
really bad crash. One of the worst ones we've seen in a couple years, but he was good, okay. It was a little wet track. Ultimately, what happened, though, is Lando won his second race in a row after the summer break. He is now, closing in on Kimi. Kimi and Russell were 2-3 on the podium. Hamilton just barely missed out. We got Monza next week. I think we have a driver championship race, guys, to the finish. It's going to be fun.
Let's see.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Let's see.
I don't know if you guys have been watching those robot Olympics
Oh, my God, yes.
and these robots crashing spectacularly on the track. That reminded me of Max yesterday. He looked like he was a competitor in the robot Olympics with that crash. But anyway,
Every time I pick that guy.
this year, I think because we're very proprietary about our fantasy football greatness and we all compete against one another, I don't think we're going to do a preview because I don't want to give away all my secrets. But I will tell you this. Please don't be so dumb to take a running back with the first pick overall or maybe even the top 5 picks. This poor guy who's gone totally viral that took Ashton Genty with the number 1 overall pick in his league. Thank God. It sounds like Genty's going to be okay, that it's a ankle sprain and not a torn ACL. But guys, like Pope just said a few minutes ago, like these guys are not durable, these running backs. Do not take a running back with the number 1 pick. I don't care if it's Jonathan Taylor. I don't care if it's Bijan Robinson. Do not take a running back with the number 1 overall pick. Don't do it.
Well,
And good luck to all of you out in
we'll
your
see what
I don't know
happens.
about that. I don't know about that advice.
Yeah.
But okay, interesting.
I don't know.
Also,
Rooster's mock
don't
drafts.
don't have your drafts until the end of August. Have
Well,
some
that too.
time for these injuries to
Milk,
come
do you
into
like
play.
your team that you got in your league?
Okay. I mean, other than that 5th string Washington Commanders running back that I took,
I won't take anybody on our offense with our offensive line. We got problems. Injuries
we'll
already.
see.
Injury bug already on the offensive line. All right. Anybody got anything else?
I've got something. It's just a little warning for people who come on our show. I don't know if you guys have been following the Diamondbacks since Nerd came on, but
Martell.
he's gone. They lost their right-hander pitcher yesterday, Soroka. He's on the 10-day injured list. It's been an absolute train wreck since last Monday. Just be careful if you come on and talk about your team.
Yeah.
Yankees next. All right.
He's good. That might not be a good week for them.
I'm not saying a word about the Phillies. Not a word.
I hope. Please have a bad week.